So Stability AI has launched Stable Diffusion 3 Medium, which they say is their most sophisticated image generation model to date.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Extra, extra, read all about it.
Now the middle one is going to be a limited model, and we've got a really nice looking presentation here. These presentations from Stability AI are always impressive. Now they're saying that this model is state of the art. In other words, it beats larger state of the art models. But are they talking about SD3 Medium, or are they talking about the larger SD3? What we see down here is that they are talking about the 2 billion parameter model, which is not their largest one. And they do have some examples here which look pretty good. However, I would say that the current status, we don't know how this is going to compare with the larger model that they have out there. What we do know is what they say here is that alongside this release, and the open release is going to be for the medium, there are other versions such as the large and ultra, which are available in their friendly chatbot, Stable Assistant, and also via Discord. Now, if you want to know more about Stable Assistant, I do have a course on Udemy, which is just about an hour or a couple of hours. Doesn't take too long. You'll be able to understand the use and also how to get the different modes. So there are different features now, like the ability to remove background and the ability to do all sorts of amazing things. If you want to sign up for that, the link will be in the description. When it comes to licenses, things are a little bit confusing as usual with Stability AI. We've got a non-commercial license, and that's going to be free. And this is really where Stability AI differentiate themselves from the other companies. You've got a non-commercial license giving you access to the full suite of core models as well as SD3 for non-commercial. We have a $20 license for creators, and we have an enterprise license at custom pricing. Now, if you actually want to get hold of this, I think Stable Assistant is probably the easiest way to get hold of it and to start using it. You can see some examples. You can see down here a gallery, and you can also see the services that they've now included inside of the chatbot. I really like using the chatbot, and it doesn't start off too expensive to start using it. Now you can also go down the route of the core of the API, and this will give you access to the core models, and that includes SDXL, a Stable Diffusion Turbo, and we've got the language models as well as the video models. So there's quite a lot in this core models. Now, some of these models are available on the non-commercial license, but also you may find that you like to use them with the API. There's a kind of a cost structure to using them with the API. Probably the most powerful way of accessing them is with what they call their developer platform. Essentially, think of the API here. And here we've got access to the different Stable Diffusion models. We've got app scale, different ways of editing, including search and replace, which I have tried, and it's not the most impressive so far. Hopefully that one improves quite a lot. And we've also got other features like sketch and restructure, which I really like. Some of those are really powerful. Now you can get these as part of the chatbot, as part of the assistant, as well as part of the API. I do have a couple of videos which discuss how you can use these different features as part of the API. I'll link to one of those below. There's a lot of controversy about exactly what's available, but that video I think is very useful for people who want to get started with the API. I also have a video on the Stable Assistant, which I'll link to below as well. The big news, however, is the arrival of SD3 Medium to Hugging Face. So we can now download these bad boys. It's quite a large download. I think about the same size as Cascade. Stable Cascade is a pretty large download. And we've already got a couple of million, maybe 3 million downloads here. This is the medium version. It's not the largest at all. You have to agree. There's a bit of a gatekeeping going on as to who can access it. You have to agree to the agreement there. And they've got some examples here. Now, I think with this one, the fact that it's not the large one, for me, that's a bit of a drawback. I do like the idea of using the larger version. Stable Cascade is very powerful. Playground, there are already DALL-E 3. There are already some really good models for creating images. And what I found with Cascade was that the light one wasn't nearly as good as the high performance one. So what I'm really going to be looking forward to is when the high performance one comes out. Now, the license for SD3 Medium is strictly non-commercial. That's the community license. And again, I think for a company to be releasing their main models, their main diffusion models without a commercial restriction, this is something that sets Stability AI apart from some of the other companies out there. So this is what they've been doing for their recent releases. You have the non-commercial license, and they've been getting their act together, but not maybe in the most professional way in terms of their commercial licensing. We'll take a look at some of the controversy over that, which is pretty big controversy.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Extra, extra, read all about it. Hot off the press, brand new news, front page, who is this? All black on.
If you want a quick rundown of the issues that have been discussed in terms of the licensing, there's a very, very strong video from Olivia which discusses some of the problems with their licensing. Came out just a few days ago, and it's a very strong watch, a very detailed analysis, and it's very negative in tone, but it does raise most of what I think are the most important points about where problems could be found with the new creator license. They're moving away from the membership model to a creator license, and it's causing angst and confusion more than usual. Now, Invoke AI, they raise questions about the new fine print, the new terms and conditions. And also Sebastian has got a video about the problems that Civet AI have encountered with Stable Diffusion 3. Now that one is a big one because they've actually gone ahead and banned Stable Diffusion 3 from Civet AI. So all the models, all the developments, all the LoRa's, everything has been banned, everything has been vaulted. So it's an indication of the depth of the crisis, I think is probably the word that you can use about this one. Now, I wanted to be as fair as possible to the issue, and I asked Perplexity to produce a report on the new contract. First of all, I asked it to comment on the launch of SD3, and it mentioned that the launch, the publicity, the press, very, very positive reviews for the very small model and how capable it is. But there were issues, and in terms of the license, these are the things that came up. The Stability AI Creator License Agreement is a legal contract granting limited commercial rights to use Stability AI's core models SD3 Medium, subject to certain restrictions. The license is aimed at creators and developers with less than 1 million in revenue and caps image generation at 6,000 per month. Now, there are times when I'm preparing a lecture or one of my courses, I'll do 1,000 images in a day. So 6,000 per month is very, very limited. I'm not sure if that's still actually inside of the terms or if they've actually changed those. By the time you see this, they might have changed some of these things. Now, they say Stability AI retains all intellectual property rights in the models and software and prohibits third-party access without separate license. The agreement, this is a big one, which not many people have mentioned. The agreement now is governed by the company's acceptable use policy, which forbids using the technology for illegal, unethical, or harmful purposes. Very vague exactly what that could mean, particularly when there are so many different laws and different customs about what's right to do with art. Now, further on, Perplexity raises end user concerns and says the Stability AI license has raised concerns among end users due to ambiguities around commercial use definitions, derivative works ownership, and strict usage limits. The lack of clarity on what constitutes commercial use has led to confusion, especially for freelancers and small businesses. Now, this report is full of references, and like I say, some of it might already be a little bit out of date. Although Perplexity is very up to date, it may not have caught all the latest developments. If you guys want the report, I can share it with you. It's one which I found very useful for just summarizing things. Now, with Perplexity, you can produce reports like this, do research, and You can publish it as well. You can share it with your friends and colleagues. You can even create images. This was supposed to be SD3 that was using DALL-E 3. And DALL-E 3 comes as part of the professional service, which is available for a monthly fee. But it does allow you to create, I think, 50 of these images. So I can try a few more images until I get it right. And I can also use Playground, which is about the same level of quality as SD3 and DALL-E 3 and a Stable Cascade as well. Now, if you want to learn more about Perplexity AI, I have a course at Udemy which covers this in a couple of hours. It's a very new course, but it covers such things as the use of the software for doing research, DALL-E 3, and ChatGPT 4o, and other generative AI models. Now, if you want to learn more about this, I'll have a link in the description. You'll be able to get a small discount. Now, the problem for Stability AI is that they've got competition like Perplexity, and Perplexity will allow me to create images, allow me to do the kind of research much more up to date than the Stable Assistant chat. So they've got competition, and I don't think they want to go around annoying their current users too much. Because right now, if I had to choose between the Stable Assistant chat and Perplexity, I'll go with Perplexity. It's a much more useful service, which can be used for much more reliable research than the Assistant. And I can do 50 images a day, whereas with the Assistant, I have to buy more credits if I want to do more images. So I think they've got to be careful with the competition. I might be doing more tutorials in Perplexity than in Stability in Stable Diffusion if things continue down this line. But I think we do have to acknowledge that we've got the non-commercial licenses that we can still use. And if you want to experiment with those, I'll have the download links for the Stable Diffusion 3 at Hugging Face if you want to download and experiment with those on your own PC. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hope you found that useful, and I'll see you fairly soon.